It's me, Mr. Myers, and I am here for another painting technique tutorial. Today's technique is really about exploring color we're gonna create a little color wheel so that we can see how these 5 paints that we've got in our tech kit mix together to create other colors. Because what we're gonna explore is we might need an orange. How do we make that? We might need a light green. How do we make that? So we're gonna use all 5 colors today and a bunch of other stuff that I'm gonna go over with you. So let's get into it.
So, to get started for this color triangle exercise, you're gonna need a blank piece of cardboard to paint on, preferably a large panel-ish. You're gonna need 4 of your 5 paints. The only paint that we don't get to today is black. We're gonna need our 1.5 inch brushes, our 1/2 inch brushes, water to rinse those brushes as we're working, a ruler and a pen and a pencil to get it set up, scissors to cut your cardboard, and paper towels are so crucial today, you'll need them.
Before we get going with anything today, one thing I want to tell you that is crucially important today, okay? Paper towels. Just so you don't have to run and rinse out your brushes all the time. And because we're going to be mixing paint a lot, we're going to be rinsing our brushes out quite a bit. So good water in something that can get some paint in it that you're going to clean out after you use it, because you clean up after yourself. That's going to be helpful to just get the paint out, but I don't want to have to run in and out from where I'm at to rinse my brushes out, so I'm just going to rinse it out in the bowl, and then I'm going to use my paper towels to dry things off. If you've got like a paint rag or something like that, I've got this old ShamWow that sometimes I use for that just helps speed the process along. That's good too. We have a little bit of basic setup that we're going to do to create a little pattern here on the cardboard. So follow along, will you?
You're gonna need your ruler, and a pen or a pencil will work just fine for this exercise. Just to lay it out though, we're gonna make a triangle. I messed up the first time, so the second time we zoomed in here, your triangle needs to be 10 inches across at the base, and then you're gonna make a mark at the 5-inch mark, which is halfway along that line. From there, you're gonna measure up 6 inches. Make a mark there to draw a line up to it, and then connect the corners. Really straightforward, but this will be your paint space.
All right. Now that I've got my kind of triangle laid out, because I'm going to use this as like my outer edges of my color, I don't know, we're going to call this like a color triangle. We're just going to blend amongst this. It's not really a color wheel, because that's complicated to set up and beyond what we need for this project. Now that I've got this in, I'm going to put a little base coat of white down here and let it dry.
A couple of quick thoughts as I'm putting this white paint down. I marked the corners of my triangle so that I could see them underneath of the white paint. The white that you're going to use as a base coat is just really thin. It's just there to prevent the red, blue, and yellow paint from soaking right into the cardboard. So once you've got this triangle loosely painted out, doesn't have to be perfect, let it air dry and then come back.
All right, we're back. My white has set up pretty well. I'm about to move on to the next step, which is gonna require some mixing of some colors. So I've got my waters here. I've got a first rinse to get the majority of the water, like the majority of the paint off of the brush. And then I've got a second rinse just to clean it off a little bit more. We're gonna start with our 3 primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. So you can follow along.
First things first, just make sure your paints are nice and shaken just to get any kind of possible separation out. And we're gonna start by making distinct colors in each corner. So start with red at the top, Spread that around. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, try to get it over the top of the white. My white was still a little bit wet, so it blended in with the red. And then I rinsed my brush out, and then I went to the blue and did the same thing, but I'm not connecting the colors yet. I just put a blue base coat down. We're gonna come back over it in a second. Do the same thing with yellow. I'm using a different brush for each just to speed up the process, and then I'm rinsing them out in between. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna start the blend. To do this, I put a little bit of paint on each side and I grab my brush. And now I'm gonna go with one brush from the red to the blue and another brush from the blue to the red so that my brushes don't get smeared. In between, I'm tapping off excess paint on my paper towel. I'm giving my brushes a little bit of a rinse, and then I'm starting on the next section, blue and yellow. Again, make sure I'm only using the yellow, one brush from yellow to blue and another brush from blue to yellow. I put a little bit of the primary color towards the corner to work it across to the other color so I get a really nice gradient as I go. Last section, yellow and red. Be careful with this one because the red tends to dominate. So I really ended up using a lot of yellow coming back. Clean it up at the end and you're all done.
All right. And that is what we're going to finish with. We've got this really amazing like blend of gradient color all the way around. This is the end product that I want you to take a picture of and send to me for credit for this. But if you take a real close look at this, you can see where the colors blend together, right? Just like we talk about in mixing pigment, right? We go red into blue and we get this kind of purpley hue. But if you notice, there's variance of like a more crimson red into a purple into like a more bluish hued purple all the way over into blue. The green needed a little bit more, right? A little bit more finesse. You could see it kind of down in here where it's a little bit more. So I know if I need green, I'm gonna have to mix a little bit more yellow and blue intentionally. The yellow and red together here really blend together really well. If you notice when I was painting, I was using bigger strokes with the brushes. My water now looks like this. I'm going to go rinse this bowl out and rinse my brushes out because my water looks like this. And it is super important to what? To clean your brush. So I'm gonna go do that. I'll be right back to wrap it up. All right, well, that is that, friends. This one is quick versus the last ones. I've got this really pretty kind of blended gradient mixed color triangle. I don't know, color wheel. It was fun. Hope you had fun doing it. Pieces of advice. Oh, first things first. I know I said we would need the black. We're not going to need the black today. I had this idea that we would blend the black all the way around the edges. If you really wanted to get creative, you could make a nice sharp line of black all the way around after it's dry, but you do not have to. Couple of pieces of advice though, as you go, things to think about. I used this paper towel to dry my brushes off and to get the excess paint off when I was blending. So you might have seen me in the time lapse going from the full color into the blended color, and then I would come over here and like tap the excess paint off. That worked really well. It's a great technique. You don't have to have blue towels. I just have them in my out in my garage. You can use any kind of regular paper towel. I do have 2 of them here just to soak up a little bit more water. And it created this really cool like fall leaves. I don't know, I might frame this paper towel. Who knows? All right, friends, until next time, when I think we're gonna paint bricks next, and it's gonna use this blended technique, okay? We gotta think about how do we create a deeper shade of orange, maybe adding a little bit of black into this so that we can have multiple shades of red on a brick. I think that's what we're gonna do next. So until then, have fun doing this. Submit a picture like this in Schoology, and I will see you next time. Take care.